The Great Escape to the Upstairs. Mondays are generally beneath me. The house was finally quiet after Fatima headed off to her day program and Levent disappeared to his office. That left me, Figaro, the undisputed king of this gray-brown tabby domain, to manage the rest of the household. My primary servant, Gulson, was already bustling about, which I found highly distracting to my morning meditations. I decided I needed some crisp, fresh air to clear my head. I sat by the deck door and let out a series of authoritative meows. Gulson sighed, muttering something about the freezing cold and snowy Mondays, as if I, a creature of such magnificent fur, would be bothered by a few snowflakes. I persisted until, finally, she relented and opened the portal to the great outdoors. The deck was significantly more moist than I anticipated. I stepped out, my stylish patterned sweater providing some protection, but the white powder was touching my paws. Highly irregular. I spent approximately 3 minutes sniffing a frozen leaf before deciding that I had sufficiently conquered the wilderness. It was time to return to my indoor throne. When I slipped back inside through the cracked door, the kitchen was a disaster zone of heat. Gulson was in full chef mode. The oven was radiating like a small sun, and a silver pot on the counter was making a rhythmic, aggressive hissing sound. Instant pot, she calls it. Instant headache, I call it. The humidity was doing terrible things to my whiskers. I needed a sanctuary. I padded softly into the living room. Grandma Aisha and Grandpa Hassan were parked on the sofa, their eyes glued to the television. They were so engrossed in their program that I was able to deploy my shadow mode. I moved across the carpet like a whisper, completely undetected by the senior members of the security team. The stairs were the only logical choice. Upstairs, the air was cool, the beds were soft, and most importantly, no one was cooking anything in a pressurized vessel. I found a particularly sun-drenched patch of quilt and curled into a perfect cinnamon roll. Within seconds, I was dreaming of a world where treats fell from the sky like rain. Downstairs, the peace was shattered. I could hear Gulson's voice rising in a pitch that usually indicates she's lost her car keys or the remote. "Figaro?" she called. Then, "Hassan, Aisha, is the cat with you?" I heard the deck door slide open and the sound of boots crunching on snow. She actually thought I was still out there. The audacity. Then came the ultimate betrayal. My collar began to emit a high-pitched rhythmic chirping. Beep, beep, beep. The AirTag. My own jewelry was snitching on me. I tried to ignore it, burying my head under a pillow, but the beeping was insistent. It was a digital finger pointing directly at my hiding spot. "He's in the house!" Gulson shouted. The beeping wouldn't stop. I realized my nap was officially over. With a heavy sigh and a face that clearly communicated my displeasure, I uncurled myself and began the long, treacherous descent down the stairs. I made sure to walk slowly, so they could fully appreciate the inconvenience they had caused. I reached the bottom step just as Gulson rounded the corner, phone in hand. Behind her, Grandma Aisha and Grandpa Hassan were doubled over, laughing so hard they were practically breathless. He was upstairs the whole time. Grandpa Hassan wheezed. I walked past them all with my tail held high. If they wanted my company, they really could have just asked politely, instead of involving the satellites.